Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with Powers. I'm Jake.
I'm Sierra.
And in today's video, we are bringing our review of the board game Charcuterie, coming from Third World Studio Games. This is a 2 to 6 player game, ages 14 plus, and right around 20 to 30 minutes. A delectable game of appetizer arrangements. As always with our reviews, guys, if this is your first time watching a review video from us or you're not familiar with our process, we go a little bit more in depth than maybe some other content creators do. We go ahead and break the game down into 7 different categories. These categories are theme, components, setup, length, difficulty, replayability, and price. Within each of these different categories, we're going to give a number value that is essentially equivalent to the BGG rating scale. So you guys are familiar with some of the rating and terminologies that we're going to use here. And then what we will do as at the end of the video, we will go ahead and give our overall rating and kind of talk about what we liked or maybe didn't like so much about the game. And then what Sierra doesn't know is since most of these games I do back on Kickstarter, our Game Found, I like to do this fun little thing where if I had the opportunity to back the game again, would I go ahead and do so? So we'll wrap it up with that and we'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and jump right in today's review, guys, starting off with the theme here. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump down to the table. I'm gonna talk about the mechanics of the game here and how that ties into the theme. We'll be back up top here. Sierra's gonna be talking about the theme, giving her a rating, and I will follow up right behind her. All right, let's go down to the table. All right, guys, so here we are down at the table where a 2-player game will be set up if you are playing Charcuterie. Now, essentially, the overall premise of the game is you are going to be trying to create the most luscious charcuterie board possible, matching the 6 different criteria here that you select during the game. And so this is going to be essentially a tile drafting game. You can kind of see an example here where depending on your player count, you're going to have different stacks of food tiles. Okay, there are, let me check real quick, make sure there are 6 different food tiles in this game. You have bread, meat, cheese, veggies, dip, and fruit. And so what you're going to do is, you, like I said, you have these different scoring criteria here for each of the different food tiles. And on your turn, you will draft a grouping of tiles and then place these tiles out onto your charcuterie board, your own personal charcuterie board here, to match all of this different scoring criteria. And once everybody, you'll actually pull these tiles from this giant bag here. And once everybody has had the opportunity to pull these tiles from the bag twice, that will trigger the end of the game. Also, at the start of the game, you'll have these nice little recipe cards here that will kind of tell you the charcuterie board that you might want to try and build to score bonus points as well. But game is very thematic. The theme, the mechanics of the game do tie into the theme really well. Again, the premise is you are trying to build this charcuterie board out. All right, let's go ahead and jump back up top and let's see what Sierra's thoughts here are on the theme. All right, Sierra, what are you gonna give the theme here for Charcuterie the board game?
I give it a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love the theme. I've made charcuterie boards before. I've had charcuterie parties with friends, and it's very kind of similar to what we did. Everyone kind of has a different board. They're all similar, but you're trying to choose the certain food groups that go with your own board. So I think it's a great theme.
Yeah, I would give it, this is actually one of the very few games that I would give a 10 out of 10 with the theme. I think it just fits perfectly with the entire game. You know, the way that some of the scoring objectives are, you know, you're stacking bread and cheese or bread and meat together like you would on a normal charcuterie board. Your fruits are together, your different things, all the different scoring conditions go very well thematically, or not very well, excellent thematically with the game here. So pretty much like we both said, 10 out of 10, one of the very few times I would give a theme a 10 out of 10. I think it fits perfect thematically with the mechanics in the game itself. Alrighty, moving on to our components here. Again, same thing, we're gonna go ahead and drop down to the table. We will show off all the components, the box insert, all that good stuff, and then we will be back up top here to give our thoughts and opinions on the components. All right, guys, so back down here at the table, you can see some of the components scattered out, and there's not really a whole lot of components to the game, but we'll just start right what's here in the middle of the table. So you will have a numerous amount of scoring condition cards. I do believe there is 3 different scoring conditions of every single card in the game, so a lot of options here. All right, that's the kind of deck there. Again, just standard cards you would find in any typical board game. We also have a nice stack of recipe cards, additional scoring cards as well. We have this nice little pamphlet, like this almost leaflet type material, where you will put all the different scoring condition cards in here. Pretty good, pretty good. Taking a look at these boards, okay, we have a nice cardboard charcuterie board. This also serves as the score track on one side, so love the table presence here. There's not a massive table presence to this. You have the actual, let me get the other charcuterie board. So your actual charcuterie board itself is going to be just cardboard, but it's a nice good heft to it. It feels really nice in your hand, and when you are building it out, I do love the almost like a wooden, the art is like a wooden finish. The cardboard itself is not a wooden finish, but that's pretty good. The tiles themselves, they are just standard cardboard tiles, but I do enjoy the artwork on all the different tiles here. And what's cool is on the back of the tiles, it shows what category they belong to. So if you ever get confused, you can just flip them on the back and see what they have. But there is a bevy of different fruits here. You can actually see on the back all of the different assortments of cheese, veggies, fruits, dips, breads, and meat that will come in the actual game. Okay, last is next thing is the rule book itself. A very short, simple, sweet rule book. Explains in detail all of the different aspects of the game, goes in detail on some of the different scoring conditions, and they also have some variants that you can play depending on your player count as well. Very well done rule book. They came with a wooden bag here, or not wooden, what would you call this material?
The sack. It's
the sack. It's like a sack material, so you could put the...
Hold on, what is it called though? I feel stupid.
I can't think of the name of it.
Potato sack. Sack is in the name.
Yeah. What is it? Let's see. In the rule book here, rule book might tell us draw bag. But it's a drawstring bag, I guess, pretty much is what it is. But this one comes in the regular edition of the game here. In the Kickstarter edition, you get a cheese bag, but the material here is more of a cloth material than it is this like sackish material. And
Potato sack. I don't know.
Yeah. And then we got little tokens. For the scoring conditions, you'll get some of these little tokens here when it's your time to score. Last but not least, we have the actual insert itself. So this is what the insert is going to look like. Nice, simple, easy insert. Stores everything. All the components that you saw here will fit into the box, nice and perfect with 0 lid lift. So nice, very compact box with all these compact components that didn't fit in here very, very well. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back up top and let's hear what we got to say about the components of the game. All right, Sierra, you want to lead us off here with talking about some of the components and give it your rating?
Sure. We both gave it an 8 on the components. We love the artwork, especially on the boards. I think making it look like a wood board, they're very well done. Our biggest want, I guess, would be that these were either like acrylic or wood components, or you had the option to upgrade to those acrylic or wood. Just for the feel of things, I think we like that a little bit better than cardboard. But as far as like what is used, I think the cards are like a really good material. The upgraded bag's really nice, having the Kickstarter bag. Rucksack.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I think they're called. But yeah, anyways. And I think like just there's a good amount of components, but not overly so. I love what's involved in this game, what's included, I guess. Between like your secret objective cards, the different types of fruit and veggies included. I think it's very well done still.
Yeah, I think the components are great. Like she said, we both gave it an 8 out of 10. I think for us, the biggest thing that stands out in terms of the components is just the artwork on all of those individual food tiles. You know, if you really look at those food tiles really closely, they put a lot of small, intricate details, like some of the holes in the crackers.
Yeah, they look real.
Yeah, they look very real. Other than that, I mean, it's just simple components that you would find in most board games. Like, they are cardboard punch outs of everything. So they're just standard components, but we feel with a lot of the artwork and kind of the finish on a lot of the cards and things like that, that takes it up a notch for us and what makes it that 8 out of 10 where it's great. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the setup here. I'm gonna go ahead and start us off. Look, I think the setup here, guys, is a 10 out of 10. The setup is so simple and so easy. It's literally just you open up the box, give everybody a charcuterie board for themselves. You'll shuffle up the different recipe cards, give everybody a recipe cards. You determine the the 6 individual scoring cards that you want from the 3, and then you basically just hand somebody the draw bag and they start pulling out tiles. And it's literally as simple as that, guys. Very quick, very easy to set up. I mean, 5 minutes or less getting to the table. So I think that is like dang near perfect. So 10 out of 10. What about you, Sierra?
I agree. I don't think there's anything to add. It's really simple to just pull out of the bag and start playing.
All right, moving on to the length here. So on the box, it does say 20 to 30 minutes, and that pretty much is right on the money. But I think I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I think the length to this game is excellent. There's a lot of strategy to the game, but yeah, I mean, look, it's very short playtime. This is one of those games we'll talk about more later that it's great to start a board game night with, or maybe like an in-between game. But yeah, not really a whole much I can say about the length. It plays very quickly, and it moves along and it has a nice flow no matter the player count, right? It's going to stay, the length will not dramatically jump up like it normally would with some of the other games. Whether you're playing 2 or 6 players, it's going to be right around that 20-30 minute range. So 9 out of 10 for me. I think it's excellent. What about you, Sierra?
I said 10 out of 10. I like the shorter games. It's right on the 20-minute mark, I would say, whether the count is 2 people or 6 people. It could get played kind of fast, actually, quicker than I thought it would be. And you want to keep playing some. Yeah. But that makes it more fun. You just change out the objective cards and play again.
Correct. Awesome. Okay, moving on to difficulty. As always with the difficulty, guys, the higher the number, the more challenging we feel the game is, and the lower the number, the easier we feel the game is. And I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 3 out of 10. I think this game is super simple and super easy to pick up. I would drop this a little bit lower, but there is one particular thing that might be somewhat challenging the first time you play the game, and that's just trying to figure out the difference. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. There's 4 different placements that you can have with these tiles. You can place them by group, by uniqueness, by pairs, and adjacencies. And so really the thing that can confuse you on the first time is the difference between group and adjacent when you're playing them and certain things like that. And so I think that's the only real tricky thing. Other than that, guys, this game is so simple and easy. You're drafting a group of tiles, you're trying to look at the different scoring objectives and match them up, and then once you just kind of figure out that group in that adjacency, trying to make sure you're doing those right things. I mean, the game is so simple to play. But yeah, so I think it's a 3 out of 10 here. What about you, Sierra?
I said the same, for the same reasons. This is a great introduction game for, like, we've already brought it to friends who've never played it before, who maybe aren't even that big into board games. They're learning, and it's a great way to learn that tile placement, ruling, and the difference with group and unique and all of that. I think it's a great introduction game because it is so easy to play, but also not too easy where it's boring to play. You got to have something, right? Agreed.
All right, moving on to replayability here. Sierra, go ahead and lead us off. What are your thoughts?
I was between a 7 and an 8 out of replayability. My one complaint which we have played it multiple times because you can play through it pretty quickly. My one complaint was that I wish there were more different types of scoring objectives for the different ones. There's, like you said, I think 3 for each food group, but the more you could add, the more we could play through it. But I think what helps though is the recipe cards. They're kind of like the secret objectives. I think that really changed it up on how we played. But other than that, it's kind of the same each time. You're grabbing a group of tiles and creating your board. But I like it still.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10. I think there's some great replayability here with the game for a lot of the same reasons she just said. The game plays really fast, right? So you're going to be able to play it multiple times. I do agree with her. I wish there was a little bit more of these scoring objectives. That's the only thing that kind of makes this game feel like, I don't want to say bland because that's not the right word, but like this is one of those games where it's exciting. You want to play it over and over again, but pretty much once you go through all those different scoring objectives, you're like, okay, like I'm pretty much good now, right? But I still think there's some great replayability because you're gonna have a ton of different options with the tiles. I mean, there's a lot of tiles in this bag, right? And there's been times where we've played and it's like, dang it, I need one more freaking dip or something like that, and it never seems to come out. But look, I just think there's great replayability. All right, moving on to the price here. So I found this is currently on boardlandia.com for $32. You can pick up the retail version of the game. You can also grab the Kickstarter version of the game here, which is the version that you looked at right here. You can use our code, Gaming with the Powers, all capital, all one word here, to get 5% off to make this under $30, and it's like $28.20 or $28.50, something like that, using our code. And so for that price, I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 9 out of 10. I think that's an excellent price for this type of game, and the value that you're gonna be able to get out of this game here with just the consistency of the plays that this game is going to be able to offer you. And you know, we'll talk more about it here again once we get to our overall rating, but I think this, in terms of value, is going to be a great entry level game to a lot of gamers, or like starting off a game night, and because of that, you're going to play this game a lot and get your money's worth with a lot of value. So I think this price point is an excellent price for this type of game and the amount of plays that you're going to get out of it. Sierra, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 as well.
Yes.
I think $30 or less, give or take a few, is perfect for this game, really. The one thing I would say is it's going to make you want to feel like you want to go and make a charcuterie board yourself, and those can be expensive.
I think there was something in the rule book that maybe said, like, if you want, you could play with actual, like, real food.
Yeah, it did. You could play.
And then eat the food at the end or something like that.
Put out the real food and then put it together and eat your charcuterie board after.
All right, moving on to one of the second to last thing here we have is our overall rating. Sierra, go ahead and start us off. What are you giving Charcuterie the board game overall?
I love this game. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's definitely one that we'll play a lot with our friends, especially ones that are new to board games or for party games. I hope they come out with like an expansion.
That'd be cool.
And maybe add in more different types of food or more different upgraded components, things like that. And then it would definitely be a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yep. I'm in the same boat. I'm giving this game a 9 out of 10. I think it is excellent. Look, guys, it's got a really cool theme. It's got a unique theme here. The setup is super simple, super easy. The length of this game plays very quickly. Overall, it's just a very enjoyable experience for both of us. Like I mentioned earlier, like we feel this is like a staple in our game night soirees, I guess you want to say that we have fancy. like every game night we are bringing this game, or we're either starting off with this game, or after we play a big game we are bringing charcuterie board out as like a palate cleanser. Great entry level game as well, you know, for people who don't really play board games. The theme of the game, charcuterie, everybody knows what charcuterie is and all the types of food, so I think this is a great game you could use to introduce people to board games as well. But there's a lot here that we really do love and enjoy about Charcuterie the board game, and so I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 as well. Excellent Excellent game. All right, last thing here we got, guys. If we had the opportunity to back this game again, would we? And I'm gonna pose the question to you first.
It's an easy answer, yes.
Yes.
I've already said I hope they come out with an upgrade and we would definitely back that. But yes.
Yes, we would definitely back the game all over again. Like I said, everything we have just said up top. Excellent game. Very much enjoy it. If it came out, or they came out with a expansion on Kickstarter, we're definitely going to be day one backers. All right, guys. Well, look, that is our review of, let me get this. That is our review of Charcuterie, the board game right here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell. If you guys own Charcuterie, the board game, drop down in the comments below, please. What are your thoughts and opinions on it? I know a lot of you guys have been commenting on our playthroughs and unboxing that you played this at a con and you've really enjoyed it. That's really cool. I'm glad you guys are liking this content. Drop down below and let me know what your thoughts and opinions here are on the review. All right, guys. Last thing, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. We are about 54 subscribers away from hitting 1K. So we are getting very close. We're gonna be doing some giveaways along the way. Might have a video dropping soon talking about the giveaway process here on our road to 1,000 subscribers. But that's all we got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this content. As always, y'all have a great one. Bye.
Bye.